What is up, guys? Today I want to do something a little different. I have let my phone decide what albums I'm going to listen to for the week, and I just put it on shuffle. So we're just doing some random stuff, and let me tell you, it's random, and I'll give you a little bit of info on each album and the band. So it'll be educational, it'll be kind of fun, and kind of a surprise. So the first thing that it chose for me was Overkill Ironbound. So this was Overkill's 2010 release, their 15th album, if you can believe that, and they've got plenty more after this as well. And the reviews on Metal Archives actually gives it 88%. That's pretty good, and this is basically the album where they kind of returned to form and started playing like their old school thrash again. Pretty much sounds like a combination of all the first five Overkill albums, five or six roughly, and it rips. I mean, I remember the first time I heard it, my mind was blown. This was kind of around the time when the thrash revival was finally coming into fruition once again, and it was surprising. The only thing about modern Overkill that I don't care about as much is some of the production. I feel like it's not as dynamic as it could be. It's just really, really brickwalled sounding, but that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to modern metal. But it still sounds good for what it is, and a great album. One of my favorite modern Overkill albums for sure. Next, this is totally out of nowhere and a total random one. STS-8 Mission. And this album is Slipping into Fiction. So, this actually came out in 1992. There was no reviews on this. It's how kind of unknown this is on Metal Archives. This is kind of like, depending on how you look at it, their second or third album. Because this band actually started out as Forced Entry, not the thrash band Forced Entry. This is a power metal band Forced Entry. And so the Forced Entry album, it's basically the kind of the same genre of metal. It's very, I'd say it's got some Helloween meets Scanner meets maybe early Gamma Ray a little bit. That's probably a good way to sum it up. And I'll be honest, it's a surprisingly good listen. All their albums, actually. I mean, it's really well done. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that slipped under the radar. Nobody talks about. So I'm really was excited when my phone decided to pick this at random. But wish I could remember offhand exactly where this band's from. I'm wanting to say Germany, but I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so the third thing it decided to pick was, of all things, Motley Crue Shout at the Devil. I'm not a huge glam guy necessarily, but I have some glam albums that I really, really like. This one is one of my top favorites, and one of the ones that I always refer to when people say, well, all glam is just a bunch of pop metal and all that. And I'm like, yeah, there's a few good ones out there, and this is one of them. I'd consider this a real heavy metal album. I mean, yeah, the glam's there a little bit. I mean, it's definitely still Motley Crue, but, I mean, this actually sounds gritty, heavy, because, they've always tuned their guitars down as well, and it's just a very, kind of a mean-sounding album for a glam band, and I totally recommend this. And this came out in 1983. It's their second album. 86% on Metal Archives. That's pretty good. I personally would probably give it even a little more than that. I'd probably give it a 90 or 95. I really like this album. And that's really all I got to say about this one. Next, the Shuffle of Fate decided to, let's see here. Manila Road, Mystification. Told you this was random. So Manila Road, a band from Kansas, United States. Started off playing some really interesting, kind of this epic heavy metal. They got some doomy sides, traditional metal sides. Um, I mean, I don't know. They even what did they start off playing? Kind of like a space rock type of sound at their, the very first couple albums. Interesting band, but this is their this came out in '87. 92% on Metal Archive, so very good. I would personally give this like a 95, personally. This is their sixth album, and believe it or not, they kind of found a thrash sound on this album, which I actually think is incredibly good. This band is definitely not known for being a thrash band, but they've done a couple thrash albums, notably this one and the one after. But this album is very haunting. I mean, it's definitely got an atmosphere, a really weird vibe. You can tell by the cover that you're in for something weird, something creepy, and it is. Even the clean stuff on here, like the clean guitar stuff and the soft stuff's like really haunting. Love it to death. Might be my favorite Manila Road sometimes. Sometimes I want to choose this as my favorite, but it's very, very hard because they got so many good albums. But I would say this is still part of their golden era. So definitely check this one out. Last and certainly not least, Falconer Northwind. Okay, so Falconer is a Swedish power metal band that's got very much of a medieval fantasy type of vibe. Their first three albums, now I've always said this about Falconer, I think they started off incredibly magical. I mean, their first three albums are like perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Mastery of power metal for sure. And then this is their, let's see here, this came out in '06. And this got an 85% on Metal Archives, and this is their fifth album. I want to say it's their fourth for some reason, but I guess it's their fifth. Had to write this stuff down, or I'd get numbers mixed up. But now, personally, I think this album is still pretty magical, but not quite as magical as the first three, but still very, very good. I just feel like the first three albums is like every second of everything is just like makes you just feel on top of the world. It's still there, but it's just not as powerful to me, but it's still pretty dang powerful. Matthias Blad's an amazing singer, does a fantastic job on here. The music's still interesting. It's still really good. It's still very Falconer, but it's just a little different. I just feel like slightly they were losing a little something. But it's not bad. I love Falconer. All their albums are good. This one's also very, very good. So still check it out. So that's 5 random albums from my iPhone Pro Max 15. I just thought it was an interesting idea. Sometimes I can't think of what to listen to. And this just gave me something random to listen to, and so it was actually very, very fun. I think I'll do more of these, and yes, I am doing this in my car again. I don't know what it is. I love doing videos in my car. The lighting's usually good because it's natural sunlight, and I just feel more motivated when I'm not at home. I just feel more motivated when I'm out. Usually got a drink. I don't right now. I finished it, but I don't know. I just really, really enjoy the experience. But anyway, if you like this video, like, subscribe. Oh, and if I wanted to pick a favorite out of these 5 albums, I think I would actually go with Manila Road Mystification. I don't know. That's just a special album. Very, very unique, powerful. I can't help it. But these are all really, really good albums. None of these are bad. So I recommend all of them. So go check them out. Till next time, guys, stay metal.